All right, up next on deck is a hilt for one of my customers. This is a former Baselit hilt. I have no idea who the maker was. Again, somebody that reached out to me and said, "Hey, I've got a couple of cool hilts I'd love you to install." Whoever did the etching on this in the past did a really good job. I love it. You can definitely tell it's acid etched. Looks like a dragon spine or something like that with etched scales in here, with this beautiful red leather here, and then this lovely wood that's been turned down. It's definitely big back here, but overall, the size of this thing is so cool, and just the arrangement of this pommel piece that does come off is so cool. As a whole, it's just really, really neat. So because this was a former Baselit saber, it's pretty narrow inside. It only had room for a 24 millimeter speaker and chassis, and so as such, there was not a lot of room for blinkies. That I didn't want to risk weakening the chassis by trying to fit and force fit in blinkies or anything like that. But this is a 24 millimeters here down, and then you've got a 22 millimeter speaker here, a 18650 with a Profi 3.9, and then you've got these two Saber Bay glass eye switches, plungers, and they're mated to the actual neopixel lit switches that are underneath on the chassis. The chassis is fully removable, so it took a little bit of time getting height just right, given that this hilt is a little bit crazy. But let me go ahead and take the chassis out. I did have to drill and tap a set screw here for the chassis, and drill and tap a set screw here for the blade retainer. So if we take this out, be very careful when you're taking the chassis out. Main reason why I say be careful is that these switches are exposed and they're just soldered on the top of the board. So just be very careful with them as a whole. And you can see these just sit down and hang down inside there. So when you're putting them in, just be very careful. I do have a blade plug in here that I am gifting to you as part of the install. A spinning blade plug that I want to just include. Does have my initials, Civilized Weaponry Services. So appreciate you being a good customer and supporting me through everything. So again, I'll demo that here in just a minute. So that being said, you can't operate the Saber 100% while it's out of the chassis. Kill switch is right there on the side and accessible when the hilt is fully installed. It does have these brass and copper rods in the chassis, just for a different look versus just having this long nothingness. And again, subbladed pixel PCB as a for additional flavor and movement on the actual emitter. So when putting this in, this right here should be between those two eyes, and you can kind of see how it lines up right there. You'd want to try and aim it between those two, so you're just going to kind of slide it right in like that between the two, and then there'll be kind of a lip that you got to get past, but ultimately it's pretty easy. Once you're there, you can kind of feel the middle. Just set it in the middle, come back, attach it here, cinch it down, not super tight, but enough to where it doesn't move. Okay, and you should be able to feel that, you know, that it's all working. So to put the blade plug in, because since it's spinning, turn the saber off first, just so that it's not trying to spin on you while it's doing its thing. So, and let's go ahead and pull this out just a hair. Slide the blade plug back in. And again, don't tighten this down too tight, because if you do, it is plastic, printed plastic. It will bend and ultimately get affected by movement. So, but as you can tell, it's nice and annoyingly loud, right? As most of these, you know, spinning motors are. But you can see that it's got some interesting, you know, light pattern as a whole. But yeah, so again, it's got my default fonts that you already have and you know of, Jorge. So, you know, hopefully you enjoy, and just because that sound annoys me, we're gonna go ahead and just remove it for the short term. So, but hopefully you enjoy this build, and that you're happy with the overall install, and look forward to continuing to do installations for you. So again, thank you for your time on this one, and I'll be getting this out to the mail and for you here shortly. All right, thank you. Talk to you later.